Hey guys, I've had quite a few of you ask me for my basic template that I work all my worship presets off of. So thought I would just make a little video here and show you what I do. So let me just open one up real quick here. Here's my current template over here. Just went through and saved it, made sure it was alright. You'll see when it populates that it's a pretty straightforward signal flow. Have a volume pedal, 2 drives, amp cab, delays in parallel, and reverb in parallel, filter block at the end for a solo boost. Real quick, the amp block, Matchbox DC30, controller straight up, no high cut, master wide open, input drive at about 3, the block level about -8. Cab block is a mix I made of the Ownhammer Vox extension with Alnico Golds and the Ownhammer Bogner oversized 4x12 with with V30s in it. I was using just the Vox cabinet with golds in it, but after talking with Jamie from Third Power Amps, he said his favorite cab combo is Alnico Golds or Alnico Golds, however you want to say it, and V30s. So I thought I'd give it a run, and I really like what the V30s add. They're mixed at about 4 or 5 dBs below the golds. So it just kind of smooths it out, helps the low end hold together a little bit. And this is what the straight up amp tone sounds like. That's on the bridge of a Duesenberg Star Player. Here's the middle. And then the neck. So just your pretty much typical jangly edge of breakup, boutique Voxy type tone. Like I said, if I hit it pretty hard, it's got a little grit there on the edge, but then move to a different position and roll the tone off a little bit, and you get. It cleans up really nice. So that's the basic amp tone. Drives, first stage is the exotic AC booster on the X of the block, X of drive 1. So here's without, here's with it. So, probably a little more gain than what most guys use as a first stage, but again, I can roll the volume back and, and get, a pretty nice level of drive. Sorry, my phone's ringing in the background. Now on the Y block, I have the STD preamp, which I use sometimes. This is without. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is without. It's with. So yeah, not quite as saturated as the AC booster is, but a nice first stage tone. Moving on to the second drive block, I have a BB pre, and one thing to notice too is on both of the exotic pedals, I leave the tone in the middle, bump the bass 2 dB, and cut mid and treble at 2 dB respectively. For me, this gets it closer to how the exotics sounded when I had them, to my ears at least. And maybe it's the way they're working with this amp that I'm using, but I just like the way it sounds better. So here's the BB. First, not engaged. Now engaged. So yeah, a little more oomph than the, and I may have the level a little low for this actually. I need to bump it to there. So that's my second stage, and then, you know, stacked together with first, it can get pretty hairy. And then we go into the Y block, and that's the ruckus, which is the Sir Riot. And yeah, that can get pretty crazy pretty fast. So yeah, I throw that in when I need something really big, maybe a big solo, you know, whatever. Moving on, I'm going to disengage that drop block and go leave the AC on. And my reverb blocks, my standard is kind of the big hall reverb. It's probably too much, but that's okay. I like it that way. On the Y block, I have the deep space. Whoops, bad note, but you get the idea. And it just kind of lingers there forever. On this block, I do go in, crank the mod up so I don't have to use like an extra modulation block to get that kind of soupy modulated tail on the verb. And then I low cut at 200, just because it seems live at volume sometimes, and you get a lot of stuff swirling around, you can start to get some oscillation, you know, some feedback going on. And so high cutting it there seems to take that away, and sometimes I'm even more aggressive if I have it mixed higher. But that's really about it. I do cut the time down a little bit on the decay, and I have no pre-delay on this because I want it as present as possible when I'm using this effect. But that's my two reverbs, and then going in here to delay, I've been using the Deluxe Memory Man for everything lately. So this is just a typical quarter note. The thing I love about the Memory Man is it's there, but it gets out of the way really fast. Some of the other delays, you know, they stay, even at a lower mix level, they seem to stay more present in the repeats. And even at a higher mix level and higher feedback, these repeats kind of blend with what you're doing and don't stay around too long. So I really like that. So that's set at quarter notes right now. If I'm doing a slow song like below 80 BPM or so, I'll obviously switch it over to eighth notes so it's not, you know, so they stay in time. And then up here on my other delay is my dotted eighth, Memory Man again. And I sometimes, if I'm doing something that's really, you know, like old school dotted eighth, edge type repeats, I'll mix it up higher. But this seems to be like a good level, and you can still get the you know, you can get that kind of thing going on. And then when they're together, you can get the kind of the, you know, the rhythmic. So yeah, and then again, as whatever the song needs, I can bring stuff in and out. But these are just my basic settings. I work everything off this template. And like I just said, you know, if the song needs something else, I can move stuff around, add it as needed. But really, for me, I can get 90% of the songs I do with the blocks that I have here and out of this template. So anyway, that's what I do. That's how I use it. Hope it helps. If you have any questions, hit me up.